Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's Comic Chat. Hope everyone had a good holiday week.
Bird Day.
Bird Day. We got some catching up to do.
Yeah. A few books here and there.
Yeah. I read a ton.
Well, you got more than me, so feel free to go first.
So let's just go down the list first.
Today.
Yeah. So I've got X-Men 5, Hawkeye 1, Trial of Magneto 4, Venom 2, ASM 79 and 80.
Okay.
Evil Ernie 1, Daredevil 36, Hulk 1, and DC vs. Vampires 2.
Okay.
What you got?
A couple of those I've read, like Hulk 1, so we can talk about that when we get to it.
Yeah.
But today I've got, of course, Venom 2 and ASM 80. And then I've got King of Spies,
Okay.
new Mark Millar book. Justice League Incarnate. Hotel from A.W. Upshot. Maniac of New York. So those are the ones I've got today. So
Cool.
it's a little bit different ones in there for us.
Well, I'll kick us off since I've got a ton.
Yep.
I'll start with I've got my two towards the lower end of the hype train.
Okay.
So starting off with DC vs. Vampires 2. It was pretty good. It's really Batman is trying to come up with a game plan.
Okay.
We saw in the first issue that the vampires had started to infiltrate people, but word got to Batman that it was happening, so now he is really just trying to figure out who he can trust. I couldn't imagine actually knowing
How many heroes have become vampires so far?
that we know of.
Yeah.
Just Green Lantern.
Okay. So it's not like
and it's-
Marvel Zombies where they killed off all the big characters right away.
Not yet, anyway. It's Hal Jordan Green Lantern. We know for sure.
Okay.
We do. I would hate to personally know Batman.
And be a vampire?
No, he's just a jerk.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
such a paranoid jerk.
Yeah.
He gets all the Bat family together to have a meeting about this, and he does it in the sunlight. He gives everybody tea and laces it with holy water.
He's just crossing all of his T's and dotting his I's.
I know, but
he's making sure nobody's gonna get
He
after him.
doesn't care, man. He doesn't give a crap at all. You die, you die.
If they're vampires, they're no longer human. He doesn't matter.
And Alfred comes in. He's like, "So I'm guessing you trust me since you didn't have me drink the tea." He's like, "Yeah, but also I laced all of the water in the building with holy water. So when you took your bath this morning, you would have burned up flames." So yeah, and then towards the end, I thought it was really brutal. Hal gets Barry to go meet him somewhere because they've always been super tight.
Yeah.
And he's telling him, it's really weird and sentimental, one of those kinds of meetings, because he won't tell Barry what's going on. He was like, I'd do anything for you if I could.
Yeah.
And then he traps him in his Green Lantern energy, and he's like, yeah, but the Masters, they won't let me convert you because Flash's metabolism would make him so hungry he would destroy all of humanity as a vampire. So
Yeah.
he kills Flash.
That's crazy. All right.
I thought that was an interesting twist, just going off of they're conscious of how the powers would work with vampirism.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. It was a good read. Yeah, that's about all there is to say about that.
Okay.
My next book I'm going to talk about is Evil Ernie #1 from Dynamite. I didn't know what to expect going into this. I thought it was a ton of fun. I mostly just picked it up because I love 80s metal.
Yeah.
And this dude is he's in college. He is a closet metalhead. He doesn't want anybody to know because he's running for class president and he's a goody two shoes. He goes to this metal show, and leaving the show, he's riding a Vespa in his leather jacket and everything, and these real bikers come up on him and they knock him off the road and kill him. And I guess somehow he's possessed by Evil Ernie.
Oh, okay.
Whatever Evil Ernie is.
So he's some kind of Ghost Rider?
In a way, I guess. Yeah. There's not much story to it. It's mostly set up, but
Yeah.
it was
All right.
okay. So those are my first two.
Okay. Well, I'll go over one right quick. So I'll go over the one. This is my kind of the least favorite of the week. I'm guessing this is volume 2 of this series. This is Hotel, from AWA Upshot, Artists, Writers, and Associates. This way. It seems like it's supposed to be. I don't know when they do these series if they all connect. It seems kind of anthology in the way this first one went, where it's like this hotel guy tells you these stories and kind of horror if.
Okay, it's almost like a Tales from the Crypt
Kind
creep
of,
show
yeah,
kind
that's
of
kind
thing.
of what I got out of it. It was good overall, but I don't know. For me, it was just kind of okay. You kind of get interested in the story. This dad does something to lose his whole family money, and they're on their way across the country trying to figure out what to do. Start over from scratch. They end up at this hotel in the middle of nowhere. Little girl runs off. You think she's going to turn into some kind of crazy monster, and then it ends up being the brother who they don't really pay a lot of attention to being the monster in the end. So, but it was okay. I'll read another one, kind of see if it is an anthology series. I'm not really sure what's all going on with it. So, but good art, good writing. I just didn't, just wasn't my thing, I guess, overall. So, but it's pretty good.
Up next for me, I have Daredevil 36. This is the last issue in the Chip Zdarsky run, and it is essentially the prequel issue to Devil's Reign.
Okay.
So if you're planning on reading Devil's Reign, you probably need to pick this up.
Okay.
There's not anything super exciting about it. It wraps up the Zdarsky run with Matt Murdock. He's out of prison now. He's going back to being Daredevil. And it's opening up a possible new story avenue. I don't think this has anything to do with Devil's Reign, but could be a future like cross Marvel arc possibly of the way that the conflict in the last issue ended with the authorities wanting to take Murdock back to prison and the other superheroes that were involved not letting them.
Yeah.
It's opening up another can of worms for another Civil War type scenario.
Oh, okay.
Where people don't trust the heroes kind of deal. Do they have too much power? All this sort of jazz.
Yeah.
So
I feel like something similar like that with Venom as well. So
yeah. So this sets up that a little bit. We see the wedding of Fisk and Typhoid Mary.
Okay.
Which that's a big part of Devil's Reign. And we see that Elektra is fully committed to taking the Daredevil path and following in Matt's footstep as far as not being no more killing.
She'll have her own mask and mantra, and she'll keep that as well. It looks like.
Yeah, so that looks to be pretty cool. It was a good ending. I do think this is important for the setup of Devil's Reign, but nothing too exciting.
Yeah.
So. And then I have X-Men 5.
Okay. This one was delayed a little bit. We got it late.
Yeah. It was okay. It's mostly about Polaris and how she kind of doubts herself being on the team. And comes to terms with that. Yeah.
By the masses.
Yep. So there's one funny part where Wolverine is unconscious, but Polaris is like using her powers to make Wolverine fight still.
Oh.
Just because she needed some backup.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything super
Big
awesome
or anything like that?
No.
Yeah.
I guess so the way that Duggan has been doing this is each issue is kind of contained in its own story.
Kind of per character?
Not per character, but like they're not completely interconnected. There's not a really long story arc.
Yeah.
They fight the villain, they beat the villain. It's almost like watching an episode of Power Rangers,
Okay.
know. But there is a slow story in the background that's starting to build.
Okay.
So the main story of the book is not the main story of the run, and the run story is kind of slow. But we do see a reporter from the Bugle has figured out the mutant resurrections, and he's fixing to expose them.
Okay.
So Cyclops, he basically asked Cyclops for a quote,
Oh, okay.
and he's like, I haven't finished the story yet, so I'll give you a day or two to think about it, whether you want to say anything or not on record. And that's kind of where it ends. So I'm sure bad stuff is about to go down for all mutants.
Yeah.
I'm sure humans don't want to find out, or they're going to be mad if they find out that mutants are resurrecting. So,
Well, I've got, let's go Aftershock Comics here. So this is Maniac of New York. So this is kind of my, kind of next on the list as far as reading this week. This one was a little better. It's interesting. You don't really get a whole lot of story as far as knowing what's going on. All you know is there's a maniac.
yeah, I read the first 2 issues of the last Maniac in New York.
And he's just going through and just killing random people. You don't really know much about him.
Yeah, he's
pretty
pretty
going
brutal.
after schools and stuff like this, it looks like. The whole city of New York is kind of freaked out. But you get to the end of this, and there's a little girl that I guess knows one of his weaknesses, and she's trying to find one of the detectives to kind of tell her how to beat him.
Yeah.
So interesting book, went fast, but it's brutal. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's brutal. I kind of where the last series lost me is, for one, the story was kind of slow, and like these people had no leads. They couldn't do anything to stop him, and like everyone around him died. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's one dude with a machete,
Yeah, just randomly showing up, and
he's like killing thousands of people at a time.
Yeah.
You know.
And there's a copycat in here, kind of just burglarizing people and not even doing anything else. So I
Yeah.
guess that's happening more often as well. So, but like I said, they went pretty quick. It wasn't a bad read. It's just don't have a whole lot of information.
Yeah,
on it
it's
yet,
kinda
which it sounds
ridiculous.
Like the first one did as well. They
Yeah.
kind of left it really open ended. Didn't really give you any resolving.
I understand why they do that, but
Yeah.
stories need an ending.
Yeah. Especially when this is, I guess, the volume 2 of that. So
Yeah. So up next for me, I have Trial of Magneto #4. The more I get into this series, the less it is about Magneto.
Yep. More about Scarlet.
I don't really like it as a series, but I feel like I have to finish it.
Yeah.
So apparently, she resurrected herself using chaos magic, I guess.
Basically, she just can't die.
Basically,
Okay. Has she resurrected Doctor Strange yet?
no. But Doctor Strange was in a couple things I read this week.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was like Doctor Strange or the like
younger version.
the younger version.
Yeah.
So, but it's weird. She like, so in the last issue, these kaijus came back when Jean Grey and I think Rachel was helping her, gave her some of her memories.
Yeah.
So there are 3 kaiju. Well, in this issue, we find out that those 3 kaijus are tied to her guilt for just things she's done. It's basically her conscience.
Yeah.
So she comes to terms with this in like cosmic world, and past Wanda, present Wanda, and future Wanda come to help fight the kaiju.
Okay.
They kill the kaiju, and then all the Wandas become one Wanda.
Okay.
And so like now she's back.
Who's writing this?
Williams. Where's the credit page?
It's on the very front. So who's the last name?
Well, last name is Williams.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the first. Leia Williams.
Okay.
So she remembers who she is once she's all merged. All the Wandas are merged. X Factor still is like, okay, well, you might be back, but there still a crime happened.
Yeah, we need to know who murdered you.
Yeah, now all these people are starting to all of the Avengers that were present at the time, because they were coming to get her body.
Yeah.
So now all the humans and Avengers that were present are all like, they're way mad because she was the cause of the monsters, and they're like, all this bad stuff keeps happening, and you're the cause.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of ends with her, like, everyone's fixing. It's real tense. Everyone's fixing to come to blows. The mutants are kind of surrounding Wanda, which I think is ironic because at this point in the canon, she's not a mutant.
Yeah. But they're protecting her?
But the mutants are protecting her.
Yeah.
And so she says she can explain, and she knows who attacked me, and that's where it ends.
Is she gonna whisper "No more Avengers" or something like that?
I don't know.
No
man.
more non-mutants.
I don't know where this is going. There's one more issue to it.
Yeah.
So
Got a lot to wrap up in this final little thing here.
yeah, and so I just hope that in this final issue we get to see something, or else this whole story arc was just a waste of time.
Well, especially since it's supposed to have an effect on everything else.
So
I mean, it came out of the gala, go right in, ending
right
series, going into the Duggan series.
Right, I was left with the impression that this was supposed to be a super big deal.
Yeah.
So far, it hasn't done anything other than she's died and come back with no consequence.
Yeah.
So unless it makes her a mutant in the next issue, I see no point to it.
Yeah. It's just kind
They should have not printed it and saved some paper so that some other books wouldn't have gotten delayed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Let's see. We can talk about Hulk together, so no biggie there. Then you got I've got Justice League Incarnate here. This is number 1 of this series.
Is that one late?
It may have been.
That one seems like it's been forever since that one showed up on FOC and previews and whatnot.
Yeah. Now this ties into the other stuff they did at the beginning of the year. It's kind of all goes back to that. But basically, you have like this multiverse Justice League. That's kind of who these guys are.
Right.
And you got
there's a new character, I believe, in this book.
We've got Dr. Multiverse.
I think that's it.
Yeah. So I'm guessing she's kind of the big thing, but they're going back and forth between all these different worlds and kind of recruiting. And you see Thomas Wayne. You see the Kal-El that's from Earth 23.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of leading this group.
Like each character is from a different.
Yeah, they're all from different Earths. And they recruit Flash from Earth 0 and bring her in, and they need her to kind of get her to wherever Barry is. Barry's put a crack in the multiverse, and Darkseid's trying to take all this extra power from there.
Is that where this whole thing they've been doing all year comes from?
Yeah, it's all from everything's kind of...
Something multiverse happens in DC, it's Flash's fault.
Yep. Yeah, basically. So...
Crisis on Infinite Earth was Flash's fault.
Yep.
Flashpoint, he reset the New 52, all that stuff.
Yeah. So that's kind of where all this is going. We've got this new chick who comes in here. We see Darkseid and Tartarus fight. He kills a couple people, like a whole lot of people. Tartarus does. And then Darkseid, spoiler alert, snaps a neck.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah. I was like, excuse me. So a little bit of action. It's a pretty good book. A lot of people you don't know. You see Darkseid's son come in here. He's actually trying to help these guys kill his dad. But overall pretty interesting. They keep Darkseid from getting to the power he's trying to get this issue. They jump off into wherever he's going. They follow Darkseid, not having any idea where he is going. They all follow him. It's actually just these two. It's the new Flash, the multiverse chick, Thomas Wayne's Batman, Superman, and then Captain Carrot.
Okay.
Which is a bunny. If you didn't know. Because I didn't know. And here's Tartarus. This is big, like Blue Baby, I guess is this guy's name, getting torn apart. Yeah. So interesting book. I don't read a whole lot of the offset DC stuff, or most of the stuff I've always ever read was really just Batman. So new stuff for me. So getting to see some new characters and things like that. So.
I do typically like the big DC arcs.
Yeah,
they're always really good in my opinion.
So it was good. I mean, I read it, didn't feel lost or anything, even though I don't know any of the characters. They do a good job of kind of letting you know who everybody is because they're from all these different places. So it was good.
Cool. Up next, I have Hawkeye #1. This is probably my favorite book this week. It was fantastic. I love Kate Bishop. It seems like it's going to be a really fun book. She ends up at this. Her strange sisters invites her to this spa resort, kind of almost a rehab kind of place. It doesn't say rehab, but that's the kind of feel you get.
Yeah.
And there's some fishy stuff going on. There's these like carnival looking goons that follow all the guests around.
Are they more tracksuit mafia?
I love how there's several pages where she's like texting all of her friends. So we see texts from America Chavez, Cassie, Ant-Man's daughter, Cassie.
Okay, yep.
Clinton Barton's like texting her because the whole thing is she's gonna stop and do this mission on her way to New York to just like hang out with her old friends.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, we don't get much into the story, but we do see a lot of Kate's character. She's very well written. She's a lot of fun. I think this is going to be a fantastic book.
Yeah.
We're just now, like, it ends just now getting into the mystery of
Whatever's
the
going
case.
on.
Yeah, so there's not much plot to talk about, but I think this is going to be a great book.
King of Spies. I liked this one quite a bit. Still, of course, this is Mark Millar's new book from Image. It kind of is confusing. You kind of start off with this dude just being a really awesome guy. You find out he's on some kind of mission. He's just kicking butt, you know. Then it kind of flash forward to where he's like in his 60s and he's kind of retiring. He looks like he's some kind of an English spy of some sort. And he gets to the point where he just doesn't like the way the world is. And he's about to stand up for this girl that's getting... he's knighted and all this stuff. I mean, he's done a lot. So, but he sees this girl getting kind of accosted in a like a fancy club.
Okay.
And he stands up to try to take care of it, and he passes out, gets thrown up against the floor, and he finds out he's got cancer. And he's only got like 6 months to live. So he gets to the point where eventually he's like, you know what? I've only got this much to live. I'm getting rid of all these people.
Okay.
He just starts taking people out, and he's just gonna spend the last few months on this world killing all the bad people.
All right.
So it was good. I liked it. I thought it was pretty interesting. You know, interesting to see where it goes. So, of course, they'll probably start. You know, almost everything Millar is writing right now is something that they're going to try to make on Netflix. So something we may see in the future on there.
Cool. Ace Centella, this very sweet Avengers hoodie came from Amazon.
Oh, somebody asking about your sweet hoodie?
Yeah.
So what are we getting at
Let's
now?
talk Hulk.
Let's talk Hulk? Okay, go ahead.
I thought this was really cool.
Yeah, I liked Hulk a lot. You finally understand the suit.
Yes. It's not a suit.
It's not a suit. It's well, I mean, in a way, there's upgrades to Banner's body.
Yeah.
To Hulk's body for Banner, but you find out that Banner is just controlling the Hulk.
It's weird seeing.
It almost made me think of what was that movie from Disney, where they're all the emotions.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know. I don't remember what
Can't
it's
remember
called.
what it's called now off the top of my head, but that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Like that's why I felt like Banner's trying to be like that.
I'm interested to see where this whole thing with like Dark Banner's going.
Yeah, and you know,
Like why is he beat this way? You know, what happened?
Yeah, and something with the Immortal Hulk series, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really wonder where Donnie's going to take this. I think him and Ryan Otley are a good team up. I mean, it looked really great inside of there.
I love Ryan Otley's work.
Yeah. So I'm very curious to see. We see him jump in that portal at the end. He's going somewhere. So I'm wondering what that's gonna lead to.
Yeah, and I wonder. So, I think Banner's personality is like. I don't think he's bad. I think it's more of like a tough love.
Yeah.
I think he's going to do something that he knows the others either couldn't do
Yeah.
or they would die trying.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible. You kind of don't know exactly what his motive is.
We'll have to see where for one, we'll have to see where the portal goes.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. But yeah, it was very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. When I finished it, I was like, okay, I'll keep reading this.
Yeah. Definitely will keep reading this.
What'd you think of Venom 2?
I thought it was good.
So you've got the local comic shop day. I've got just the normal cover here.
I do like how they like the first issue was both writers.
Yeah.
And both
You kind
the
of
Eddie
understand
and the
where both
Dylan
guys are
story.
at.
Yeah. and this one was completely Dylan's story. So I think that's the plan from here on out is
Probably have some
Like,
issue
kind of
probably
thing.
crossovers here and
Yeah.
there. Yeah, because at this point, even I would think since we know Eddie is in a symbiote, and that's all he is. We know he doesn't have a body anymore, but you would think he would still be able to communicate with these two. But I don't know what's up with that. So maybe we'll get an answer to that at some point.
Well, I'm wondering if he's cut off because when we left him, he was with Meridius, and so I wonder if wherever he is cutting him off from the hive.
Maybe.
But I do also wonder why does he keep telling Dylan not to bond?
Yeah, they've emphasized that quite a few
And
times.
there was a couple times that Venom said something that it just didn't feel like good guy Venom.
Maybe it's a different symbiote. When you see him like barking out in the street and
Yeah.
kind of.
So, he's more aggressive. Like, I don't know if it's because he's not bonded with Eddie and maybe he's just getting more aggressive again or what.
Yeah. It is interesting. But we see again here that this senator is working with Fisk to stop things. So that may tie into Daredevil at some point. How they're kind of working to get rid of different kinds of heroes and things like that.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I thought it was good. I'm again curious to see where it's going to keep going. I'm not like, So
Yeah.
I want to know what's going to happen.
Especially, I want to know more about Meridius and his overall plan, which
Yeah.
we didn't get any of that in this. That will probably be in the next time we see Eddie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll keep reading it.
All right. So Spider-Man, I didn't read 79. I realized that as I was reading 80, but I kind of got an idea of what happened.
Yeah.
So,
So a lot of stuff happened in 79 that Ben is he's Peter's clone. Peter's a genius, so Ben's a genius also.
yeah.
So he has put in a do not disturb mode in his suit
Okay.
so that Beyond cannot bother him.
That's what they're talking about when he can go offline willingly.
Yes.
Okay.
So he turns that on and he goes to visit Pete.
Okay.
And he kind of has a breakdown with Pete. Like, did I go about this whole Spider-Man thing the right way? He's having doubts about Beyond, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Which would make sense at this point.
Yeah, and then
We're all having doubts.
he gets word. He's sitting there in the room, and there's a deal on the news about I forget what happened. Oh, an armed robbery. He goes, stops the heist, and there's no villains. It's just like thugs, But when he does that, he turns his suit back on. His handler is like one of the Beyond board members.
Okay.
Has a security breach at their place. I need you to go check it out.
Yeah.
And he goes and does that, and that's where he gets ambushed by Kraven.
Yeah, and gets the darts and everything.
Yeah, and he gets darted with these they're laced with some sort of super
Crazy toxin.
LSD kind of thing. Yeah, and he basically trips out. That's where 79 ends.
Yeah.
And then with 80,
Yeah, 80 get picked up right into that.
yeah. Also in 79, you see those other characters in 80 where they got kidnapped. Doug
Oh, okay.
Doug the turtle person.
Yeah. Yeah, you're kind of wondering about that. You don't really get any resolve in this issue with those guys either.
I'm assuming they're okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so you see Janine kind of get more into this story arc a little bit. You kind of see there's a little bit more of a relationship to his handler.
He wakes up basically on an oil rig
Yeah.
with these other people that Kraven kidnapped.
And Kraven's really trying to get him to open his eyes up about Beyond because he's no longer really what he was.
Kraven, yeah, he just doesn't want him to be a corporate lackey.
Yeah, he doesn't want him to rely on all these cool toys. He wants him to be Spider-Man.
Right, because he wants the hunt to be pure.
Yeah.
How's it going, Be Nasty?
What's up?
Yeah, so he's fighting Kraven and he's all tripped out, and I'm wondering if we're gonna see like Super Kraven
Yeah,
soon
because
because he gets kicked into a vat of chemicals.
yeah, he's in something, and then he blows up. So
And, that is like comic books 101. How do you get your superpowers?
well, we know now that the Ben Reilly stuff that's coming out is based on Ben Reilly in the 90s. But we have another new Spider-Man coming in February called Savage Spider-Man.
Okay.
So I'm kind of curious if
It wouldn't be the first time they've done a Savage Spider-Man, I don't think.
Yeah, and it could be a throwback story as well. But I'm kind of curious if there's something that Beyond is going to create out of all this.
See, that's kind of what I think. And I think that this whole thing was a Beyond setup.
Yeah. Because we see at the end of this one, they're trying to take out Miles now.
Right.
Because he's the Brooklyn Spider-Man.
Right.
And so
they want to be
the
the only Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But I almost think that whatever.
This was interesting as well.
Yes. Which that will be. That story is going to be followed in 80 Beyond.
Yeah.
So I think the chemicals were a Beyond product also.
Yeah. Well, I think it looked like Craven had him at a Beyond location.
Yeah,
wherever it was,
they were for sure. But
it was a Beyond location.
I halfway wonder if Craven was hired by Beyond to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they all have been. I think everything that they've done so far is in-house created.
I do too, because they're all these.
They're testing.
They're all these like old school classic Spider-Man villains that are just randomly showing back up.
Yeah, they're just trying to make sure that whatever they have can best them. Yeah. So I think it's pretty interesting to see where it's going to go. I am curious to see where Doc Ock's going to play into this. Which, like I said, we'll see that in this next issue of the Beyonds. And then of course Miles Morales picking it up in it as well. So
I mean, I know for sure Ben is going to be Spider-Man through 86. Mm-hmm. I don't know when that is slated to street date.
I'm kind of wondering if whatever is keeping Peter sick is something that Beyond is again doing. What if they're paying somebody to make him stay this way?
We talked about that when that happened. That those guys were we thought were also Beyond employees. That were they the H team or something?
Yeah, the very first.
Yeah.
White Fox was this week. Be nasty. Yeah, we have that in store if you're looking for that. Get up here and grab it if you haven't got it yet.
Yeah, we know that Ben's going to be around through 86. I do think that Doc Ock is going to be involved in Peter's
bringing him back. Hopefully, he doesn't bring him back with him in his body again.
I mean, it'd be cool.
Superior Spider-Man again.
Superior Spider-Man was really good.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they don't go that way. I feel like they've already, they've gotten that story. I mean, I think it is cool, but I mean, let Peter be Peter. Plus, we got Spider-Man coming out in 2 weeks now, so
yeah,
gotta have him back alive or at least up and walking.
Yeah. Did you see I guess a Sony executive did a press deal?
Said there's 3 more Spider-Man movies coming.
Yeah.
With Holland.
Yep.
So there you go.
There you go. You heard it here, probably not first. But.
No, probably like 18th.
Yeah.
But you heard it here. Yeah, I kind of figured I just was like, there's no way they're gonna be like, we hate money. I mean, it's already breaking records, and it's like, who even buys tickets anymore before you go?
Right.
And it's breaking records all over the world. So
this is probably gonna be the first movie in a long time that if you don't buy your tickets, you're not getting in.
Yeah, I was like, because Darren said he wanted to get a whole theater again this time, and I'm like, he might want to do that pretty soon, and we're not gonna get a theater because we're gonna take everybody. But I don't know if he's gonna do that or not. So
I'm gonna go buy my own tickets just in case.
I saw a report the other day that it was a pretty good. The person that gave him the inside information said that Maguire and Garfield will both be in it. And they both get about 30 minutes of screen time. So that's a pretty big deal there.
Did you watch the announcement of tickets on sale video with Tom Holland? So it starts at like a tight shot of Tom Holland.
Yeah,
and he's like, "I'm super excited to announce the tickets on sale, and here to help me announce are my good friends." And it zooms out.
Yeah,
and it's Zendaya and whoever plays
Ned.
Yeah,
yeah.
And he's like, "What? Who'd you think it was gonna be?" I was like, "Ooh, yeah. This guy."
They're just playing with us.
I would like to see.
I think that for sure we'll see Miles at some point. I think everybody just wants to see these other 2 guys first, just because it ties all the movies together.
Well, and nostalgia.
Yeah,
everyone wants to see all their favorite Spider-Man on.
But I have no doubt that Miles is gonna be in the mix. There's no way that Marvel's is gonna miss that.
I would like to see.
And they can both be Spider-Man for a while. I mean, we've already seen Prowler, so.
Well, so I think it would be really cool if they, bring in Miles, let Garfield be Ben Reilly, and get Scarlet Spider in on it.
Yeah.
Bring back it doesn't have to be Emma Stone. They could recast her so that she's younger, but get a Spider-Gwen in there, get a Silk in there, and then basically Sony has their own team up that they can do.
Yep.
And we could have a whole Spider-Verse just like the Avengers verse,
You can even call them Spider-Vengers.
Spavengers.
Bingers. Spinders. Suspenders. See how it just got there somehow. Because they suspend with their webs.
Exactly. I knew that's
totally
where you were going with
sense.
that. So. But yeah, then that spins off
Post-COVID. I was like, oh, we had $1 billion movie. Yeah, post-COVID. I could see that. I mean, with the way it's doing already, it could definitely at least get as close to Endgame as anything else has gotten. So, which is great to see. So, $1 billion movie. Crazy. It's a lot of money.
I could go for $1 billion right about now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't think I'd be on Twitch right now, though. Well, maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
I probably wouldn't have anything better to do.
Yeah. Be like, what's up, guys? I'm just on here again. Well, I think that's it for this week, right?
Yeah.
So good. Lot of reads this week. I went out there and was looking at the wall, and I was like, okay.
A lot of good books this week.
Yeah, and of course, I think we had, Venom 2. I think Hulk 2 comes right back out here pretty quick. December kind of slows down the last couple weeks of the month. But
is Hulk 2 supposed to be back on schedule? Because Hulk 1 just came out.
Yeah, I think Hulk 2 is delayed a couple weeks as well.
Okay.
Venom 3, I think, is now the first or second week of... It's either the last week of this month or the first week of January, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, but everything kind of got pushed around on the print schedule for Marvel. But except for Spider-Man. Spider-Man's still coming out weekly.
Well, it missed a couple weeks here and there, but
yeah, I think for the rest of this month, though, we'll have 1 to 2 issues of Spider-Man every week. Because we'll have 81, 2, 3, and 4, and then we'll also have the Beyond issues as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like it's been a few weeks since we've had just a ton of good books come out.
Yeah. So a lot of little stuff, a lot of big stuff. Good week of reads. Make sure you guys go out there and pick up. If you're local, hey, come on in and see us. Grab some books. Tomorrow we have our podcast. We'll be back. At least 3 of us will be on, I hope.
7 p.m. tomorrow night.
7 p.m. Be the good old guy Tanner there. Brandon and I will be talking about Hawkeye, Hot Guy, Pizza Dog, Kate Bishop. I'll be talking about all that fun stuff. I think these two guys have both. Brandon's probably binged everything he could think of because he's been in quarantine. So he's for sure already finished Cowboy Bebop.
I'm
and
about
some
halfway
other stuff.
through.
So
yeah.
I got an episode of Hawkeye to watch today. I'll watch that here in a little bit. So and then of course Angels of Death.
Yep, I finished that today.
Finally done. So it was good.
It was good.
Did you watch the after credit?
Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say I didn't know if you. I was like, no, I don't think they're going to do that. They totally did it. So.
I thought it was funny because their credits are 2 seconds because they don't credit anybody other than the company.
Yeah, and then I was like, why does it still have so much time left? Oh, there's an after credit. So it was a good show. I liked it. We'll talk about that tomorrow too as well, and some other fun fan stuff. So,
all right. Thank you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.